Welcome to Punky's World. This is another genealogy video. You know, I did a video where I talked about my more, well, infamous relations. Excuse me. And this video, I decided to talk about my still famous, yet not so infamous relations. I share the same ninth great-grandparents with President Calvin Coolidge. We go back to Simon Coolidge, 1632 to 1693, and Hannah Barron, B-A-R-R-O-N, 1637 to 1680. This is on my mother's side. My Coolidge line starts with my great-great-grandmother, Harriet Stratera Flagg. Her mother was Mary Coolidge. So my great-great-great-grandmother. So that's how I connect to Calvin Coolidge, President of the United States. His name was actually John Calvin Coolidge, Jr. I also have a few Mayflower ancestors. I'm going to highlight one here. And it was very strange. I watched, Discovery Channel did this, I think it was Discovery Channel. It was a movie, but it was kind of more of a documentary about life in the colony when they came here. And actually a few of them are my relations. One in particular that really stood out to me was Stephen Hopkins, because he was one of the leaders. He was my 11th great-grandfather. He signed the Mayflower Compact. Like I said, he was featured in that movie. And it felt weird seeing someone playing my ancestor, my 11th great-grandfather, my mother's 10th great-grandfather. It was just strange, you know? It's one thing when you see people playing characters, but when they're playing a character that was once a real person that you are directly linked to by your DNA, it's a little strange. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, sorry. Okay, his daughter Constance Hopkins Snow is actually my 10th great-grandmother. She also figured heavily into that. Constance's hat is in a museum on Cape Cod. I have a picture of it here. Because I think that is the neatest thing, that they still have her actual hat. Hat's like 300 years old, 400 years old. I mean, he came over on the Mayflower, for gosh sakes. To have a physical item like that is amazing. And I have a picture of the actual item. Like I said, I'm going to put it up here. This next one's fun for me, because I'm a big wrestling person, as you know. So connecting this was kind of neat for me. I do want to connect the Benoit line. I am pretty doggone sure, and so is my mother, that I am related to Chris Benoit. Because I have a Benoit line. I also have, it could be connected to 9 other lines. French tended to stay together. And I discovered that I am related to the Vachon wrestling family. The Vachons were Vivian, who that was her middle name. Her first name was Diane. Maurice, Mad Dog Vachon. It was actually Joseph Maurice. He went by his middle name, which in French culture is very common. And Paul Butcher Vachon. I managed to trace both lines back to the dit name Pomerleau, P-O-M-E-R-L-E-A-U. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. But we seem to go back to, well, it's a line that's not quite finished, you know what I mean? So I only have one kid to go by in the Pomerleau section. So I think we both go back to different brothers in the Pomerleau line. Now, a dit name, which Pomerleau is a name that would be used by another brother in the same family to differentiate him. Or by someone else in the same family to differentiate their family line. You know what I mean? Like, well, okay, my uncle is David Wilson. His first cousin is also David Wilson. So in the French, say they were both David Vachon. Well, one of them would become David Pomerleau, and it would be Vachon dit Pomerleau. It's what they did. So it could be cousins, it could be brothers. I think we go back to brothers because I have no brothers. It sort of stops at that line, but both lines seem to intersect at Pomerleau. I'm going to keep working on it because I am going to get myself straight to Paul, Maurice, Vivian, Luna, because I know there is a line there with 100% certainty after the research I did today. And it comes from my Langois line, which comes from my La Chapelle line, which is my great-great-grandmother. So it's not great-great-great-grandmother. So it's not that far back where the line actually starts. So, at least in my family. So it should have been easier than it was. The problem is in their line, in the wrestling family's Vachon line, in the genealogy that I found, it stops at Pomerleau. And that Pomerleau, how do I put this? That Pomerleau was a different name than the Pomerleau that I have, but it's also different dates. So there are the two Pomerleaus where mine is and where the Vachon line is for the wrestling family are two different generations. So I would have to find the generation. The problem is it seems to stop there. The generation before that, which would be probably where it would match. So we're talking 9th, 10th grade grandparents, but still, it's fun when you match somebody famous, you know? I match a few famous people along the way. As I mentioned, I matched both Presidents Bush. I have that actually in my tree. Hold on. I actually have that in my tree. Exactly where I matched the Bush presidents. I know I mentioned it in my infamous ancestors, but I'm pretty sure that I have them in my tree. Because this tree's pretty good. Unfortunately, the French stuff that I used to have isn't. Okay, I do not have it. But I know how I'm really it. Blah. My cousin's going way back. But anyway. I thought I did for some reason, but I don't. But I wanted to share with you some of my less infamous, well, maybe the Vachons are a little infamous, depending on how you look at it, but I'll post links to information about them, stuff about Constance and Stephen Hopkins, and obviously Calvin Coolidge was the president, so I can easily post the link to him. And I was easily able to find our connection because his genealogy's been done because he was president. So that wasn't difficult. If I went and looked at the Bushes, I could find it. You know, the exact, but I just haven't looked at Maybe I'll come back and do another video about that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me. This is fun to me. This is these are things that make genealogy fun. Is finding these weird relationships that you never knew about. Tom Hanks talks about that because he played Mr. Rogers, and then he had some genealogy done and discovered that he is in fact a cousin distantly to Mr. Rogers, to Fred Rogers. I mean, how weird is that, but how cool is that at the same time? I know I have other ones that I'm related to. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. I am related, straight line back, to Todd Eldridge, figure skater, on my mother's side. We actually, I don't know that I have it in the tree anymore because when we lost the tree, but let me, oh, over here, tree search. ELDR. VJEXY. I don't have an Eldridge. Ah, okay. ELDE. Nope. ELDRI. ELDRI. DJE. Nope. I don't have it, but we are related. Like I said, I had that in my genealogy completely mapped out. I had Todd in my genealogy, but unfortunately we lost some genealogy and it hasn't all been put back in yet. But I literally had Todd Eldridge in my genealogy, which is freaking awesome. I mean, I love figure skating. I actually may be related to Paul Wiley as well. I haven't traced that out yet on my Wiley line, but I'm 100% related to Todd Eldridge, and it's not terribly far back. But like I said, some of the genealogy hasn't gotten back in yet, so I will have to trace my Eldridge line again and let you know what I find. I can't believe I don't have Eldridge in there at all, which doesn't make sense because it's one of my mother's lines, but I will find it. I'll figure out who married Eldridge and all that stuff so I can put back in. Like I said, I literally had Todd and his family in my tree. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. I can't put the Vachons in yet because I've got to find that other brother or first cousin link. And it seems to stop at those two Pomerleaus. So if you have any clues, let me know. Calvin Coolidge I can put in my tree. He used to be in my tree. I don't know what happened there. And Stephen Hopkins is in my tree. So but Calvin Coolidge, I don't quite know what happened. He might be in under John, come to think of it, John Calvin Coolidge. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I do. My clothing haul is on its way to being finished producing. The other video that I did this morning, cleaning my cupboards, is up. Well, almost up. Might be for all I know. Come on. I still have a horrible smell in my house that I can't get rid of. But I am going to say thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Have a great rest of your evening. And I am going to make my chef salad. We are 64% uploaded. So we have 2 more videos to upload. But I wanted to get this one out today because I was very excited to share relatives that aren't so infamous. So please click that subscribe button. Please share. Please like. But But definitely share the video. Show people how fun this can be. I had to write it down, otherwise I never would have remembered the nuances, shall we say. So, like I said, I'm going to go make my salad. I'm going to go put all these clothes away that we looked at in the other video, which is upcoming. I'm going to be putting that up as soon as this one that is uploading is done. So you'll get 3 videos today. So have a wonderful rest of your rainy day, or evening. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Bye-bye.